So there are two main components of MIT App Inventor. First is the user interface. So this is the designer section, the App Inventor designer. And here you can select the components like the visuals of, you can design the visuals of your app, how your project or how your app is going to look by arranging on-screen and off-screen components. And the second part is your blocks editor. Here you will be writing the code or basically using the drag and drop features to add the relevant code related to the specific components. So by arranging the blocks, you will be specifying the functions and the behavior of the app.
So we would begin by a mood project, which is like an app that lets you input your mood, and by your mood, it tells you a message, a friendly message. So I'm here in App Inventor, and as you see, first I have my projects. I have view trash. I have connect if I want to connect to an emulator, which Warda will explain more later. So I have this gallery. I'm going to start a new project. So I would name my project Mood Technovation Rocks. Okay. So I have the new project created. So here we are. We have an empty screen and we have the components. So first of all, I want to spice up my background color, and I'm going to change it into, like, let's say cyan. If you have another color, please input it in the each one his color. Then I'm going to add a text label. A text label meaning just text, so it will show just text. And I'm going to change that text label into how are you feeling today? So I'm changing the text color too into red. Oh, let's make it pink. Then we want it to fill, and we can make it bold. We can make it italic. We can increase the size. Let's make it 20. And then I want it to be in the center. So I would go to text alignment, center, and then my height and my width. Now this is a very good trick when you are doing your app. Width fill parent, meaning that you're gonna fill the whole width, like the whole space from here to here. Okay, automatic means it's gonna take as much width as it needs. If I'm adding more text, it's gonna take more space. Okay, and there we have our title, nice, neat, and clear. And then we would go into adding a layout. Now, how this layout helps, why we don't just put components. Well, these layouts help you arrange stuff. So before you actually do this thing on App Inventor, it's better to draw mockups and know your layout of your app, then apply it. So let's add a horizontal arrangement. We want it to fill the whole space. So what do? We make width fill parent. Okay. Now we are doing something cooler, and we're gonna add button. A button so we can click on it. That's what we're doing on our app. So we're gonna add a button, and then I want my button to look as an image. So we're gonna add a happy face. Okay. We're going to add the happy face, and I'm going to remove the text for my button. So now, as you see, I just have this cute happy face as my button. Why? Because I used the option image here. I used the option image. I uploaded an image that I already have on my computer, and then we have this thing. Okay, just going to change one thing in the horizontal arrangement, which is I want my components that are inside this arrangement to be in the center. So I'm going to apply center on both things. Next thing, we are adding a label, a text label. I'm going to add happy, And this is going to be our happy bar coder. Happy, change the size. We want it to be bigger, like to 15, 18. And then we're going to add another label by 0. So why am I adding, why I just don't input happy 0? You're gonna know later that in the code, we're going to change only this label. So while you are making your UI, think about which labels am I changing? Happy is going to be static, it's gonna remain the same. So if you want to change the label with the text 0 in it, you want to put that on its own. So we're going to do this process. We have the mood happy, sad, and angry. So again, we chose horizontal arrangements because we want to place our things horizontally. We're going to do the width as fill parent. So fill parent, it's gonna take the space, the width from here to here. Okay. And then we're going to add a button. Our button, we want to spice it up. So we're going to add an image. Here you can see it, our button is going to be an image. Upload file. Then we're going to choose the file angry. Okay, and then we have our button as an angry face. So we're going to remove the text because we just want our button to be that image. We don't want any text on it. So we're going to add our text label, angry, change the size, then add another label, and we're going to call it 0 as well. And then we don't want them to be placed this way. We want them to be in the center. So I'm going back to my horizontal arrangement that contain all these things. So while you are thinking about the visual, think of it as containers. You have the big screen, which is the big container, and then you have the small one, which is like the smaller containers. So we want them to be aligned in the center. So we go to align horizontal, center, align vertical, center. And bam, we have them all in the center, just perfect and neat. I'm going to repeat it for one last time for our last mood. Add a button. Okay, just going to change it to which step did I miss? Fill parent. I need to make the width fill parent. Okay. Text for button. Image. I'm gonna upload file. Choose file. Then I'm going to select the sad image file. And it's a sad face. So now, like this image is too big for the whole screen and we don't want it to fill the whole screen. What we are going to do is we are going to choose this and not make the height and the width automatic and actually change it. Like make it 40 pixels. 40 pixels. Now you're going to ask me, Layla, how can I know the pixels for each image? Well, it comes by trial and error, but it's recommended that it stays automatic in case you want to reduce it or you feel it like fills the whole page, then you change it into pixels. Okay, we remove the text for our button. We add the label. Our label going to be sad. We change the text here. Remember, this is the properties where you change your component. These are your component listed as it goes. So you have horizontal arrangement, this one. Horizontal arrangement 3, this one. Label, going to change our text to sad. And then I'm adding another label. This is the label, remember, we're going to change. As the user clicks on the button angry or on the button sad, the label 0 or 1 is going to change. That's why it's a component at its own. Okay, and then I'm going to change the font size to make it bigger and nicer. And then I want them all to be in the center, so I'm going to go to properties of the horizontal arrangement, make it in the center, so they align horizontally in the center, and then I want them to align vertically as well in the center. So we're just going to add a label, and this is going to be where we're going to show the message and tell them, hello, if you are sad, don't be. If you are happy, have a good day. So we're going to change in the properties the font size to be 18, and we're gonna make it in the center. And of course, the text for label 8 is going to change later, and Warda is gonna show us how to do that in the code. So anyone has any questions about the what we did now about the visuals and how to make your visuals nicer in App Inventor? Another thing that you can do, imagine you want to add a layout and you don't want that layout to be shown, to be visible. You just want to arrange your components. So you uncheck the visible property and bam, it's not visible.
Hi, so I will be explaining how to code in MIT App Inventor. So now we will be going towards the blocks feature. So now the purpose of our project is to add how many times the angry, sad or happy emoji has been clicked. Like for example, if you click on the happy emoji button, so the 0, that will become 1. So if you click on it a second time, it will become 2. So basically we're counting the mood of the user. When the button is clicked, then the action is going to take place. So firstly, we will be seeing the happy button. So when happy button click, we are going to change the label. So the label is basically 0 right now because it hasn't been clicked. We're going to set the happy label text. So as we're going to add it by 1, so we are going to go to the maths section and we're going to use this feature. And here, as we're going to change the happy label text, we are going to use the happy label text component over here. So we're going to place this over here, and as we have to add it by 1, we are going to go again to maths and take the 0, and instead of 0, we're going to type it 1. So we're going to do the same with both the sad button and the angry button, and one easy way to do that is by duplicating it, since the code is going to remain same. Now here you can see that we have other options. I'm going to select angry button over here. Instead of happy label, I'll be selecting angry label and also angry label over here. So again, now I'm going to select the sad button and the sad label, and again the sad label. So this is the basic code for right now, and whenever I'm going to click on the button, the text that is basically the 0 will be added by 1. So this is basically a very basic code, and it has only a basic function that is basically change the label, add the label by 1 whenever the relevant button is clicked. So what if we want to add more features? For example, we want to add a relevant message. Like for example, when the user clicks the happy button, we want to send a motivating message. When it clicks the sad button, we want to send a message saying, don't be sad, or talk to your friend or something like that. So for that, we can add a different set of code. Now there's as you can see that these were individual buttons, like when happy button is clicked, when angry button is clicked. But there's also a generic option in MIT App Inventor. That is, you can also select when any button is clicked. Like over here, when any button is clicked. So as you know, in coding, there are variables. So we can define our list which will be is going to show the message as a local variable. So the local variable means that this variable is only going to be available within this any button click. Like we cannot use it outside of this code. So here we're going to the list option and we're going to make a list. So our list is going to be text based. So to add text, we can go to the text option and we can click this. And to add more items to the list, we can just click the setting option and then add item over here. So now we have 3 items in our list. So I'm just going to write messages. Now I'm going to introduce you to the conditional loops, that is the if then else. So we can see that when any button is clicked is over here, but how do we know which button is clicked? For example, we want to check that when happy button is clicked, so we want that this good enjoy message is going to be displayed, not don't worry, not talk to a friend. So for that, we will be going to use the get component option. So basically, if get component is equal to happy button, that means if happy button is being clicked, then we are going to set the message. Wait, let me check. So the message has been label 1. So the message has been written as label 1 over here. So we're going to change label 1 to show the specific message.
So here, if we translate it to pseudocode, if the happy button, the emoji, if component equal to happy button, then change the text to the message good enjoy, and she'll show you how. So this is like, imagine it translated in your head into pseudocode. If something, then I'm gonna do this thing. This is how we run our lives. If the label.text, we're going to change the message into something from the list. So we're going to select list item.
Yes, so now here, this is where it gets a little more complex. So we're going to change the text of the label, that is the message, to the first one of the list. That means basically we have 3 items in the list. This is the first item, this is the second item, and this is the third item. So the first item in the list has an index of 1, the second item has an index of 2, the third item has an index of 3, and so on. And the name of this list is list. So here, select list item means we are going to select an item from the list. So what is the name of our list is currently also list. So here we're going to select this. And for happy button, we need the first message. We need the first item. So the index is going to be 1. So else if, but if, for example, our component is now angry button, so we are going to set the index to 2 because we want to show the second message. And similarly, for example, if now here I'm going to use else, not else if, because I know that if it isn't happy button, if it isn't the angry button, then it's probably going to be the sad button because we don't have any other button ever in our app currently. So here we are going to make the index 3. So now whenever any button is clicked, not only will the mood counter be added, but also a message will be displayed.
Someone asked if wouldn't it better to just set label text to good enjoy instead of creating a list? Sure, yeah, that's really good reasoning. But imagine if you want to display a random message and you have a huge list of really nice messages or cool messages you want. So it would be better if you start doing a list. So here we are introducing you to the concept of a list. So when you have your app, you're not just having labels all around. You can have a list and have it neat and organized. Like when you are organizing your desk, you can have a container having all your text messages.
I can explain you the process of testing your app by using the MIT AI2 companion app. So firstly, you are going to install the MIT AI2 companion app on your Android device. That can be mobile or tablet. It won't work on iPhones, whereas MIT App Inventor is used only to develop Android apps. So you can either go to the Play Store and install it from there, or the QR code is also available on the website. So now we have to connect both our computer and the device, that is your mobile phone or tablet, to the same Wi-Fi network. This is a very important step. Then we're going to open the App Inventor project that is on our laptop and connect it to a device by basically going to the Connect tab and then clicking on AI Companion over here. So after that, basically after we have selected Connect and chosen AI Companion, so then we're going to launch our MIT App Companion app, and there will be an option scan QR code. The QR code is basically visible on your PC screen when you will select the AI Companion option. So you will use the scan QR code option in the app, and when the QR code is scanned, it will immediately show you the prototype of your app. And basically the visuals of your app and all of the functions that you've programmed, you will be able to test it on the app that is shown on the MIT App Companion.